listeners, another day of entertainment and stories that will surely give you a lesson, inspire you for sure. Welcome to GBDJ Podcast. Now everyone just sit back, relax, and listen. In today's chapter, we will tackle about Rizal life in his higher education and life abroad here, 1877 to 1892. We'll discuss the ins and outs of his quest for higher education and struggle and challenges in his life abroad. Of course, we will include the topic and the contribution of Rizal as the leader of the propaganda movement that awakened the Filipinos people from the abuses of the Spanish and colonizers, an unwavering campaign for political and social freedoms. His experience as a student before will offer listeners a special surprise at the end. To those who doesn't know who is Dr. Rizal, let me tell you something information about him. Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonzo Rialonda, or known as Dr. Jose Rizal, was birth on June 19, 1861 on the Calamba, Laguna, and was a Filipino nationalist, writer and polymath active at the end of the Spanish colonial period of the Philippines. He is considered the national hero, Pambansang Bayani, Pambansang Bayani of the Philippines, and an ophthalmologist by professional, and also Rizal became a writer and a key member of the Filipino and propaganda movement which advocated political reforms for the colony under Spain. So what are we going to talk now? In his life being a student in higher education, including his trouble and the challenges he faces in abroad. Way back Rizal was in a college, the time that his mother still in prison, and he studied first in an Ateneo Municipal, which they called it as an Ateneo de Manila now. At first they refused to admit him there since he was late for the registration, and most of all he was underage for his age, which is 11 years old. Too young, isn't it? But gladly in the end they allowed him to study there. While studying there, he was a really good student. He always get a prize and got an excellent grades. Well, Rizal was indeed an intelligent man. In Ateneo, there he met Father Francisco de Paulino Sanchez, who inspired him to study harder and write poetry. That's why Rizal has a lot of written poetry that we can read in books, articles, and sites. At the age of 16 years old, he received from his alma mater in Ateneo Municipal with the degree of Bachelor of Arts with highest honor. See how genius he was. He even enjoyed many extracurricular activities in Ateneo. He studied painting and sculpting, and he sculpted an image of the Virgin Mary of Peace of Batikuling, or Philippines hardwood, with his pocket knife, and there he also wrote his first poem, which is the Mi Primera Inspiración, my first inspiration, which was dedicated for his mother on her birthday. And when he entered university, he took, of course, of philosophy and letters. He also He also took medical course to study medicine and to cure his mother growing blindness. What a loved son he is. Rizal University here was really different. Rizal said that the atmosphere from the UST is somewhat suffocating. There is a discrimination among Spaniards to Filipino. So he decided to complete his study in Spain. That's what started to study abroad, and also traveled from many countries. And he didn't just study there. He also observed their the way of their living while he's traveling at the different countries. He still continued to write poems and novels, and there when he got in Berlin, where he is one of the famous novel which is the Noli Me Tangere, has been published. Then year 1887, he returned to his homeland to perform an operation of his mother's eye. After restoring his mother's eyesight, he also opened a medical clinic. O diba? Napakatalino talaga ni Isa. At saka hindi lang siya matalino, kundi madiskarte. There is controversy over the Noli Me Tangere, where some of copies of his book fell into the hands of the Spaniards, especially from the friars. They found the novel heretical, impious, and scandalous in the religious order and anti-patriotics, subversive of public order, injurious to the government of Spain and its function in the Philippines island and the political order, though his intention is only to expose the reality and because of what he received treats. So even if he doesn't want to leave his own country, he was forced to fly into other countries, and also he experienced their different cultures upon traveling into different countries. And also Rizal, the girl named Saiko Osu, she was charmed, modesty, and intelligent. I almost tempted to settle in Japan with Osei-san. Although she was very dear to me, my love for my country and fellow Filipino was greater. Then he stayed in London, which he received his greatest achievement, the annotating of Morga's book, Success de las Filipinas, Historical Events of the Philippines Island, which was published in Mexico in 1609. Then an association was formed, which is the Association La Solidaridad Association, a patriotic society. There's crusade for reform in the Philippines government. And also he was chosen honorary president, and there's this patriotic newspaper called La Solidaridad in Barcelona, a fortnightly periodical which served as the organ of the propaganda movement. And it's aimed to work peacefully for political and social reforms, to portray the deplorable condition of the Philippines so that Spain may remedy them, to oppose the evil forces of reaction and medievalism, to advocate liberal ideas and progress, to champion the legitimate inspiration of the Filipinos people to life, democracy, and happiness. Then Rizal moved again to Paris. Then April 1891, he came to Brussels, where he became busy revising polishing the manuscript of the Alfredo Gusterrismo. That time he retired from the propaganda movement. He notified that the propaganda authorities in Manila to cancel his monthly allowance and devote the money to some better cause, such an educational of a young Filipino student in Europe. After the Alfredo Gusterrismo came off to press, he also decided to go back to Manila, despite the opposition of my friends and their relatives. Before my departure, I even wrote 3 more letters. The first addressed to my parents and friends, the second one to Filipinos, and the last is the Governor General Iliojo Despujol, a case secretly filed against me. Such a traveling experience, right? Through this, it shows us how strong and brave Dr. Jose Rizal. So what did you learn today, guys? Just comment below and share your ideas and what have you realized and analyzed about this topic. Again, this is GVDJ Podcast, sponsored by Isabela State University Angadanan Campus, a public institution that keeps comprehensive, that support and inspiring students, accessible for all for all coming episode this week. Well, continue our talks of travel vlog of Dr. Jose Rizal, and I hope that you learned something today, dear listeners. Till next time, and good luck. Goodbye.